When you think of the word evil, what comes to mind? Probably monsters, right? Serial killers, brutal dictators, the faces we see plastered all over the news. We picture something dramatic, something obvious. But what if I told you that the most dangerous, most insidious form of evil throughout history has never looked like a monster? What if it looked completely normal? That idea alone should make you a little uncomfortable. If you study enough criminal cases, you'll start to see a chillingly familiar pattern emerge. After a horrific crime is discovered, the news crews interview the neighbors. And what do they always say? He was so quiet. She always seemed so polite. They just looked like a normal family. The most shocking atrocities are rarely committed by people who look outwardly violent or disturbed. They're committed by people who blend in seamlessly. People who go to work every day, who smile at you in the grocery store, who seem to function perfectly well in society. This tells us something crucial. Evil doesn't always roar and announce its presence. Sometimes, it just quietly adapts to its surroundings. This isn't a new idea. Long before modern crime psychology existed, ancient scriptures described the exact same phenomenon. Take the earliest pages of Genesis, for example. Evil isn't portrayed as some raging, chaotic beast. It's subtle. It's a whisper, a quiet suggestion, a clever distortion of the truth. The serpent doesn't attack Adam and Eve with force. It simply questions them. It plants a seed of doubt by asking, "Did God really say?" That's how corruption so often begins. Not with an outright act of violence, but with a quiet, persuasive nudge in the wrong direction. Modern studies in behavioral psychology confirm this step-by-step descent. People rarely, if ever, jump straight into extreme, horrifying acts. It almost always escalates. It starts with small compromises. A tiny lie here, a little moral shortcut there. Each one is justified with a small rationalization. Over time, with each small step, the conscience begins to dull. What once felt deeply wrong starts to feel uncomfortable, then acceptable, and eventually, completely normal. This is precisely what makes ordinary evil so dangerous. It doesn't explode into existence. It grows quietly, like a weed in the garden of the soul, until it chokes out everything else. The truly frightening part about all of this isn't just that evil exists. We all know it does. The frightening part is how incredibly adaptable it is. It doesn't always need a foundation of burning hatred or rage to thrive. Sometimes, all it needs is apathy. Not fury, just indifference. The simple willingness to look the other way, to not get involved, to tell yourself it's not your problem. If history has taught us a single lesson, it's that ordinary, everyday people are capable of participating in extraordinary darkness, often just by doing nothing. So, maybe the true face of evil isn't a snarling monster with fangs and claws. Maybe it's the face of someone who simply stopped questioning themselves. Someone who stopped asking, "Is this right? Am I doing the right thing?" Maybe it's the absence of that internal dialogue. It's a sobering thought, and it's something most people prefer not to think about. But it's in that quiet space of self-reflection that we build our defense against the ordinary evil that lurks, not in monsters, but within the potential of the everyday. Thanks for watching.